Hi everybody, how you all doing? Hope you're all well. This is part 2 of Comic Book Stew, part 2.0, and this is still the first box, and this is the second video for the first box. So, without further ado, yeah, don't judge me, it was free, okay? it came in a gift bag that I got from the comic shop when it was free comic book day in 2010, so, and I don't really like chucking away comics no matter how bad they are. So yeah, as you can see, the Fame issue from Blue Water Comics of Lady Gaga. Yes, even the bad comics are going to be on this. And quickly going along, Firestorm the Nuclear Man #3. This was from the very first series that was out in 1977-78, if I remember correctly. And this one only lasted about 4 issues. There were supposed to be 5 issues, but it was cancelled in the great DC implosion that happened after the DC explosion, which is when they brought out absolutely tons and tons of new comics that they brought out. And unfortunately they realised that they couldn't actually afford to bring out all these comics, so they decided to end up cancelling quite a lot of them after they brought them out. Issue 5 of this did see print in some form. There was 2 comics that come out in the early 80s called Cancelled Comic Cavalcade, and that had loads of comics that were cancelled in the DC implosion. And issue 5 of this was one of those issues that was finally saw print in it. And as you can see, it's a 12p British variant cover price. Next up, The Flash #259, Barry Allen Flash. This is the Barry Allen Flash. This is the Flash that I grew up with. And as much as I liked Wally West as the Flash, and as much as I was extremely saddened to see that they completely wiped that Flash from the DC history, I still have immense respect and love for the Barry Allen Flash, and he's still my go-to favourite superhero of all time. Not so much the Barry Allen Flash they have in the comics now. I really don't like the depiction of the Flash in those comics now. This is Barry Allen as far as I'm concerned. And The Flash #1 from 2010. This is the 3rd series of The Flash, if I remember correctly. 3rd or 4th series of The Flash. And this one comes straight out of Darkest Night, and this was as you can see, a Brightest Day crossover issue. And then you've got, also from 2010, The Flash Secret Files and Origins 2010 #1. As my comic book stews go on, you'll see how much I actually like the Flash. You can see there, I've got a Flash. That's the Wally West Flash, though, from what I can tell, and that's, you know, I've got the Flash TV series on my DVDs bookshelf there. I've got everything to do with the Flash. He is my favourite superhero, or at least was until after, yeah, you know what I mean, the New 52. Yeah. Another free comic book day comic from Dark Horse this time, Dr. Solar Man of the Atom and Magnus Robot Fighter. 2 really great series from Dark Horse Comics, and it was such an unfortunate thing that they finished so soon. As far as I know, the Dr. Solar and Magnus comics were supposed to be ongoing, and I think they printed up about 12 Dr. Solar, and I think they did about 3 or 4 Magnus Robot Fighters, and then they just stopped making them. So it's unfortunate. I don't know if Dark Horse are going to be making any more of these comics, or if any other comic company, maybe Valiant, might be looking into picking up these characters again, which would be interesting to see how they would put them into their new universe. More Free Comic Book Day comics. This is from Marvel, the Iron Man and Thor Free Comic Book Day comic. Another Firestorm, number 56. This is Fury of Firestorm, and as you can see, it's the chapter 10 of the 1986-1987 company-wide crossover event Legends, which is a really good series. Well, I thought it was anyway. And it had what was it? Gorgeous Godfrey, or as he was known, and he was a reporter, or supposedly a reporter in a TV evangelist sort of thing, if I remember correctly. And he tried to turn the whole human race against superheroes, so that humanity would hate the superheroes and mistrust them. So then, when Darkseid wanted to take over the Earth, he would just be able to go in and do what he wanted to do, because all the heroes would be either killed or sent into hiding or sent off world. And obviously, as you can probably guess, it didn't actually work. Another Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, number 86, and this is part 7 of the Janus Directive. If you remember the last video, I showed you Captain Atom issue, which was the final part of the Janus Directive, and this is part 7. And Firestorm's gone through a lot of changes, even before the New 52 reboot. Firestorm went through a lot of changes in his time in the DC universe. From Dynamite, another Free Comic Book Day issue from the Green Hornet, Kevin Smith Green Hornet, Free Comic Book Day, number 1. An extremely battered Green Lantern, number 136. As you probably saw with the very first comic from this video, I don't like chucking away comics or getting rid of comics, and I've almost put it upon myself to save comics in a way. And even if you get, I mean, this comic isn't that bad. I would say, I'm not a grader, but I would say probably it's a good to maybe very good. The cover's still attached, you know, it's very creased. The cover is coming away from the staples, and it is yellowing inside. The pages are yellowing inside, but it's still readable, it's still enjoyable, and that's a fantastic cover on there for Green Lantern. And I don't like seeing comics getting chucked away or thrown away just because they're damaged. I've got plenty of comics in my collection that have got no covers at all. I think I've got an Archie comic that's got no cover. I think I picked that one up when somebody sold me a box of comics for 20 quid, but I'll get to that when we get to that comic. So, but yeah, you'll probably see some comics that I've got that are quite tatty, and it's because I just don't like getting rid of them. I would rather see a tatty comic in my collection like this than having 2 or 3 mint condition copies of it and getting rid of the, you know, throwing away the tatty comic. Unless of course this would, you know, if I managed to pick this up and it was in near mint condition, I would probably see about giving this away to somebody who needed it to fill a hole in their collection rather than throwing it away. But I haven't got this in mint condition. This is the only copy I've got, so don't get too excited just yet. Green Lantern 46, part of the Blackest Night crossover, as you see, and 47 and 49. And 52 and 53, now part of the Brightest Day crossover. And I've just realised, oh no, that's right, sorry, I'm confusing myself. Next one, Green Lantern Corpse, number 41. Very creepy cover there. And number 43. Number 46 with the return of Ice as a Black Lantern. Number 47. There you go. Let's just move those comics there. And we have the Overstreet Fan Generation X number 1.5. And if I can just bear with me a minute. That's what, if you can see that. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's what the wraparound cover looks like. Okay. Okay. And oh, this is cool. This is actually a reprint of a story that was originally published in, I think it was Dark Horse Presents from Dark Horse Comics, but this one's actually printed by IDW, and it's a Cal McDonald mystery story, Hairball. This is written by Steve Niles with art by Casey Jones, and I enjoy these Cal McDonald mysteries. They're really nice little takes on, you know, the usual horror genre that you have, and I suppose in a way you could sort of like, you could recognise it as sort of like oh, what was that set of books? I think it's Boom Studios. Was it Boom? It was doing a comic book adaptation of all the books, and the name of it's completely gone out of my head. But that's what this reminds me of. If I can remember it, I shall put it down in the description box down below. They made a TV series of it. The guy that plays this is what I always do for people. The guy that plays the detective in Arrow, the father of Dana Lance in the Arrow TV series, he was in a TV series based on this set of books, and I can't remember what the name of the character was, and it only lasted for about 6 or 8 episodes. I think maybe 12 episodes. Yeah, I think the first book was called Storm Warning. It's coming to me. I might shout it out in a bit. But yeah, that's what these Cal McDonald mysteries remind me of. Anyway, they're sort of like the private eye, or the person who's a bit rough around the edges, but he's also into, yeah, the mystical arts and that. Not necessarily a rip-off of, or a cheap version of John Constantine, but in the same vein as that sort of thing. Hulk number 16 with Red She-Hulk. Or as I said to somebody on Twitter once, why can't we just call her Rusty? And issue 281 of The Incredible Hulk. Again, this one's pretty battered up, but like I said, I don't like getting rid of comics just because they're a bit knacked and that, you know. And I don't know if it shows up on this. I don't think it does, especially with the comics in a bag and a board and that. It looks pretty decent shape, but it's not. Trust me. If you look closely, you'll see things like the edges rounded off, and there's a tear, I think, on Spider-Man's head, and that looks a bit like water damage as well. So, but you know, it's still readable and it's still an enjoyable read. That's the main thing, really. And what's this one? Invincible Iron Man number 25. It's one of the many covers they brought out for this, and I've got most of these covers, I think, for this comic. And here we have the Irredeemable Free Comic Book Day #1, which reprints Irredeemable #1, and if I open it up, it's a flip book which also reprints Incorruptible #1 as well, which were two really good series by Mark Waid for Boom Studios, and two really good series that I never actually managed to pick up. Again, it's one of those things where you see a comic, you read a few of the issues, you're like, oh yeah, that's really cool, really good premise, really nice writing, and then you end up not picking it up at all. And from Vertigo, iZombie #1. Again, another one of those series that was really good. I've got a few of the issues, and now I know it's finished. I think I'm going to have to go back and see what issues of this I've got, and then just pick up the ones that I'm missing. I don't think there's many that I'm missing on this one, but yeah, it was a really good series as well, and it had Mike Allred's artwork in there as well, who's doing the artwork for FF over at Marvel at the moment. Another really fun maxi series from DC Comics in 1980s, 1985, 86. We've got issue 11, Jem, Son of Saturn. And again, very beat up issue, but I think it gives it a bit of character. What we've got here, issue 2 of Joe the Barbarian from Grant Morrison and Sean Murphy from DC Vertigo. And JSA All Stars #3. And #4. And #5. And if we just move those out of the way. We have got Justice League of America #38. And #40, again a Blackest Night crossover issue. #42. #43, part of the Rise and Fall sort of mini crossover event that happened with Justice League and Green Arrow and Arsenal, Red Arrow. #44, The Brightest Day, and this one is also a part of, I think it's a prequel to the Fall and Rise story line that was going off in DC Comics at the time, and it's just Justice League Cry for Justice #4, and you have Cry for Justice #7, the final part. Personally, I enjoyed the series. There was quite a few people that didn't like it, from what I can gather, but I actually enjoyed this series. Back in the day, I enjoyed everything DC Comics was bringing out. So, and we've got the Justice League of America 80-page giant from 2009, #1. And we've got Justice League Rise and Fall Special #1. And Justice Society of America #31. The real Justice Society of America. Justice Society of America #32. #36. And then here we go. We get the double impact on this one, if we can do it like this. There you go. #36 and 37 there. number 38. Another free comic book day comic, The Library of American Comics. Free comic book day comic featuring Blondie, Annie, Archie, and Bloom County. I think this is a series of reprints that reprinted the newspaper comic strips of the time, from what I can remember of that. And we have Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers Unleashed, number 1. A really fun little series with Throg, Thor, and all the animals of the Marvel universe. Sorry, and I thought it was brilliant. You even have, I don't know if you can see it down here, you even have Miss Lion from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends animated series that was around about in the early to mid 80s, and in the cartoon, Miss Lion was supposed to be a female. In this comic and subsequent comics before and after it, we found out that Miss Lion was actually mistakenly sexed, and it turned out that Miss Lion was actually a male dog, but Miss Lion, the name stuck, so I thought it was quite funny. And Lockjaw and the Pet Avengers Unleashed, number 2. Brilliant cover there for Throg. I think that's a brilliant cover. The mighty Throg, the Thor Throg. And finally, for this video, and that was actually quite quickly through that one actually, Magog, number 7, with Zatanna, which is, chances are it's the reason why I bought that comic actually, because it had Zatanna in it. So there you go. That's the next 50 comics out of box 1 for Comic Book Stew. Hope you guys enjoyed it out there. And if anybody's got any comments or any more information on the comics that I've shown, or you just want to say hi, then comment section down below. And if this is one of the first videos you've seen from my channel and you want to subscribe, subscription button's just down here somewhere. Yep. And if you want to thumbs up the video, brilliant. Thumbs ups are great. And as I always say this on most of my where'd you go? There you are. Carry on, nobody noticed. I say this on all my videos, near enough anyway. If you want to thumbs down the video, then that's fine, feel free to do so. But if you do, say why you thumbs it down. Just put in the comment section down below why you felt the need to thumbs the video down. Did you think there was something different you wanted to see, or the format was the wrong thing? Just let me know and I'll see what I can do. So yeah, there you go. This is part 2 of Comic Book Stew 2.0, and stay tuned for, in the next week or so, part 3, which I'll be putting up. And hopefully these videos aren't too boring for everybody out there. So yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and enjoy the comics that you read. Ta-ta for now.